okay, so this was a quick experience that happened last Friday. So that was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, like 4 days ago. Okay, yeah, so anyway, I went to bed or whatever, and then I got up at 3 a.m., and then I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I looked at the clock, and I laid there for like 3 hours, and I couldn't go back to sleep. But I didn't feel like getting up and watching Netflix or anything. I did one time. I got up and watched Netflix for like 30 minutes. I watched the rest of that Ex Machina or whatever, because I had 30 minutes left to watch last week sometime or whatever. But anyway, so Friday, I didn't really feel like, getting up out of bed, even though, I laid there for 3 hours. Well, finally at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7, because I have to get up about 7 or whatever. Well, I try to get up earlier. But, yeah, so I only got like another hour of sleep or whatever. So I must have fell asleep right at about 6 or whatever. And then I started talking to Joel for an out-of-body experience, sometime between 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. And, so I was kind of shocked when I got the experience because, I knew I didn't really have that much more time to sleep, and then boom, I had to get up out of bed to go to work or whatever. But anyway, I did get an experience between that last hour, 6 to 7 a.m., sometime between 6 to 7 a.m. And, yeah, so I was talking to Joel, the reptile alien that he probably had always been in my family. He probably goes back thousands and thousands and billions of years. You know what I mean? And so anyway, so anyway, yeah, so he's like assigned to me, so to speak. Or, I just believe when you're born, these beings come with the package. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know if he's totally messed with other, family members like he does me or whatever. I don't know. But he could have messed with like my great-grandma and, great-great-grandma and all that. Very possible. I know my great-grandma was attuned to the beings. Because my mom said some things when she was like 10 years old. But anyway, so I just believe Joel came with the package when I was born, this reptile alien. And also before I was born. Because I think I was like a reptile in my very most recent past life. Well, I kind of know I was. But what I was before that, I don't know. I don't know if I had been other things before I was a reptile. You know what I'm saying? A reptile alien. But anyway, okay, so Friday, like it's weird, I don't know. Some nights, I sleep really, really good. Some nights I sleep like shit. But, yeah, so I slept like shit, apparently, because, I couldn't fall back to sleep from 3 to 6 a.m. So that's why when I started talking to Joel or whatever, and when I finally fell back to sleep when I looked at the clock and it was like 6, I didn't really think I was going to get an experience because it was already almost time to get up, and go to work or whatever. So I started talking to Joel for an experience, and he's done this before. He has talked to me in the experiences before. And it's funny though, he doesn't say much, but he has talked before. Well, like in their own dimension, I don't really think they do a lot of talking. You know what I mean? They probably just, I don't know, like maybe some of them do, but I don't know, they may just like talk with their hands and telepathy or whatever, but some of them might talk. I really don't know. in their dimension or whatever. But so yeah, so he has talked to me before in my experiences, but not often. And so anyway, so I was just like, hey Joel, you want to come give me an out of body experience? But I'll say it like this. I'll be like, hey Joel, do you want to come give me an out of body experience? You know, virtual reality experience. You know, he knows what I mean by that. And that's all I say. And I didn't. This time when I talked to him, I did not say it could be sexual or non-sexual. Sometimes I'll add that, and I did not say that at all. I just was like, hey Joel, do you want to come give me an experience? Virtual reality experience, out of body experience. I say it like that. And or both or whatever. Most of the time it's both. And that's all I said, but I repeated it many times or whatever. Well, so finally, and at first, when I woke up, of course, after the experience, I was thinking, okay, that couldn't have been Joel. That had to have been a different being. But I do believe it was Joel. He just switched it up, that's all. He likes to switch it up occasionally to confuse me, I guess. But sometimes, I have had many other experiences with other reptilian aliens that I know was not Joel. And then there's been a lot of them where I'm thinking, I didn't really think it was Joel, but now I do. Some of those other experiences, I think it was Joel. But anyway, this is how it started. So, just like in the previous abduction where he took me to the Mickey Mouse Theater, I started descending. This is how the out-of-body experience started. And actually, my experience was still an out-of-body experience, but it was still virtual reality. Like, there's been times where I was completely awake, laying on my stomach or whatever. Well, actually, I normally don't lay on my stomach, though. That one experience I had, I know I talked about it, but I can't remember. I obviously was laying on my stomach that time. Yeah, I guess I was. In that one bedroom, I can't even lay on my stomach anyway, because it's a weird bed. It's a futon mattress. But in the back bedroom, I can sleep on my stomach if I feel like it. So that other experience when I was on my stomach a few years ago or whatever, I mean, like, it was still virtual reality, but it was still an out-of-body experience, and he actually was in my bedroom standing there, because I was like completely awake when he was pulling me out of body. Okay, but this situation was a little different. Like, he didn't really come to my bedroom, so to speak. It was still an out-of-body experience, a virtual reality experience. Well, like I say, most of the time, it's both. Anyway, I have both. But sometimes it may just be virtual reality, and then you're not really out of body. Of course, you're still going to feel out of body and everything. But what I mean is, by this experience, is that he didn't necessarily come to my bedroom, but what he did was he abducted me just like how he abducted me that last time and many, many other times. That experience, Mickey Mouse Theater, that time when he abducted me, I descended for a long time at a fast rate of speed. This time, that's how it started. When he abducted me, I started descending at a, not real fast, but it seemed like it took a while. So, anyway, so he abducted me, and I started descending. Like down, 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 down. Like for quite a long time. And I was just like thinking, okay, is this for real? I can't believe I got an experience. I can't believe I'm getting an experience. Because I knew, I didn't think I'd get one since I had such little time to fall back to sleep and to get up out of bed. Okay, so I started descending and descending and descending. Okay, now I slept in the front bedroom. And I was on, like, my back. I was either on my back or my side when he abducted me. Okay, so when he abducted me, I started descending at a semi-fast rate of speed for quite some time. And then boom, like the next thing I know, I'm in my back bedroom on my stomach in the bed. Now that's what I mean by like it could have just been virtual reality. Like I don't necessarily think he took my astral body and stacked it. Well, maybe he did. Shit. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said this was just an out-of-body experience and not necessarily virtual reality. Because I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, I mean, I guess he really could have done that. So that means it really wasn't virtual reality. It was reality. Okay, so, because he really could have, I guess he really could have, you know, took my astral body and actually placed it, you know, in the back bedroom on my stomach on the bed. So that's where I don't really know if, you know, if he really did do that, take my astral body and do that, or if he just did virtual reality on me to make me think I was, you know, I mean, it was still totally real, if you know what I'm saying. I was laying there on my stomach in the back bedroom. But I was sleeping in the front bedroom, and like I say, he abducted me when I was either on my side or on my back, because that's how I always sleep, in the front bedroom. Even in the back bedroom, I rarely sleep on my stomach. When I was a little kid, I did, but not now, rarely. And so anyway, this is kind of funny. Okay, so anyway, I was kind of paralyzed, like, I mean, and I knew that I was like under his control and couldn't like move and everything. I mean, I knew that I couldn't like get away from him. I knew he was, you know what I'm saying? He had me like all paralyzed and shit. But I did start to get a little like scared, you know, because I'm thinking, shit, man, how am I going to get out of this situation? Like, how am I going to snap out of this experience, you know? I was thinking all that because I felt a little bit scared. You know what I mean? And like I say, I knew, you know, I mean, I knew I couldn't get away from him, you know what I'm saying? Because he had me paralyzed or whatever as I was laying there on the bed. And, I mean, I was still able to, like, move, but I just was not, I mean, it's like I was pinned to the bed. I wasn't, you know, I was able to move, like, my head and stuff. And my arms, as far as I remember, I just knew that I wasn't able to, like, get away from him, like get up out of bed or anything like that. I just somehow knew that, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew he was, you know, he had me under his control and everything. So I was a little bit scared because I was thinking, I was like, oh shit. You know, because first of all, I was on my stomach. And that's not, like I said, that's not the first time he's abducted me and pulled me out of body very slowly on my stomach. He did that a few years ago. He was pulling me out really slowly on my stomach, and I was just like, oh shit. And that time he was standing there in my bedroom, because when he was pulling me out of body, I was completely like awake. But this experience, I wasn't, you know, he took me at the exact, you know, that perfect timing, that split second before you fall asleep or whatever. But yeah, I mean, when he abducted me, well, all I know is when he abducted me when I was on my stomach, anyway, he was doing something with my cat, Bobby. He was like throwing Bobby at me and everything. But I talked about that abduction a few years ago. But yeah, so when he, I totally felt completely awake. I mean, maybe I was just barely groggy, but still, I mean, I was awake enough where I knew he was standing there. I wasn't in an altered state. Like, he was totally standing there at the foot of my bed. And like I say, I was almost 100% awake. And I knew that. But anyway, this experience was a little different because he abducted me that split second before I fell asleep. And then I started descending. He took my astral body and I started descending for a long time, and then the next thing I know, he places me on my stomach in my back bedroom. And like I say, I felt kind of scared and everything, and I was just like, oh shit, like how am I gonna get out of this situation? You know what I mean? How am I going to snap out of this situation? Okay. And this part's funny. And I didn't say it could be, this experience. I mean, when I asked him for an experience, I didn't say it could be sexual or non-sexual, but that's normally how I'll say it. But this time I didn't. I was just like, are you going to come give me an out-of-body experience or virtual reality experience? Okay, so this time, so I was laying there on my stomach. Okay, this is the funny part. And of course, like I said, I was a little bit scared and everything. And what he did was, see, they never really, a lot of them, they don't want you to see their face or anything. A lot of them are like that. You know what I mean? Okay, so he started kissing my back. Like he was like really romantic and sensual and shit. Like I should have put that in here. I guess I forgot to put that in here. But anyway, so he started like kissing my back, like all up and down my back. I mean, this was so hilarious. He started kissing my back, all up and down my back. And it was just hilarious. Okay, and he started saying stuff like, oh, I just love you. I like you so much. I really like you, and I love you. And he said those words like many times, but he started kissing all up and down my back, like for several seconds. And I kept thinking, okay, is he gonna like try to have sex with me or something? I kept thinking that, but he did not. All he did was kiss me all up and down my back. It was hilarious because it's like he was. Oh, I did put that in there. He gave me sensual romance. Oh, duh. So yeah, I said my OBE Abduction by Joel, August 24th, 2018. This is what I got when I asked for an experience. He gave me sensual romance, then morphed into the alpha man. He talked to me under the experience. I was paralyzed and felt a bit scared. And then him was, he was like, I like you so much. I love you. I really like you. And then me, I was like, Joel, is that you? And I've done that one other time before where he was behind me and I was like, Joel, is that you? As he was as he was moving around my bed. And then that's when I looked back and he morphed into that woman, that girl that I know. They always do something you could relate to, something that you're familiar with. They always morph into something like that. So anyway, so he was kissing me all up and down my back. And he was just like, oh, he was kind of making some noises like, I like you so much. I love you. I really like you. And, okay, so, and like I said, I kept thinking he was going to try to have sex with me or something, but he didn't. Okay, then I finally said, I was like, Joel, is that you? And then I looked back, because like I said, when he placed me in the back bedroom, I, like, even though I knew I was kind of like paralyzed to the bed, I was still able to move. Like, I was still able to move my arms and my head and everything. But I knew it's like I would not be able to like get away from him or run away from him or anything like that. I knew that. I wasn't completely paralyzed, if you know what I mean. And so when I turned my head back, so basically, yeah, I mean, I was completely like astral, so to speak. But I wasn't like paralyzed, if you know what I mean. I just knew, there's no way I could get up out of the bed and run away from him. I knew that, he had me under his control or whatever. Okay, so when I looked back, or after I said, Joel, is that you? I looked back, I totally jerked my head to the right and looked back, and he was on the left part of my bed and kind of like stood up, and he morphed into the alpha man. Alpha is a movie that I just saw like 2 days. Yeah, because we saw it on Wednesday. Me, my sister, my mom, we saw Alpha on Wednesday. And I had this experience on Friday morning, about 6 a.m. And so anyway, he morphed into the Alpha movie. It's set back 20,000 years. And so it has all these weird looking European people with this scraggly dreadlock hair or whatever. And he morphed into not that guy, but there was a lot of other kind of older men that kind of looked like that in the movie. He morphed into that other guy. But I couldn't find a picture of him on the internet. So he morphed into the alpha man, to one of the alpha men. And I knew exactly when I saw that. I was just like, okay, whatever. Because I knew it really wasn't the alpha man, or one of the alpha men. I knew it was really Joel. So I just thought that was kind of hilarious when I was still, astral and out of body when I saw that. And like I say, because when I turned my head back there and I saw him, he kind of leaned up and stood up when he was at the left corner of my bed. And that's when I totally saw, one of those men in the Alpha movie. And like I say, it wasn't that one, it was that other guy with kind of like the darker dreadlocks. And but yeah, so it was kind of hilarious. That other time when he was like moving all around my bed, and I was like, Joel, is that you? And then I looked back, and he morphed into this 13-year-old girl that I knew that was also like being abducted by aliens and shit, that I talked to at the bookstore a couple times. I haven't seen her in a long time though, but now she's like 18. But yeah, so anyway, it was a pretty cool experience. I mean, it was kind of scary. But okay, I do believe it was Joel. Anyway, so Saturday morning I had a lot of which I do believe, I know it was Joel that did this, because he's always turning me into a hermaphrodite, but he hasn't done it in a long time till now. And so I get the abduction on Friday morning, and then Saturday morning I have all these like virtual reality, I don't know what you call them, just virtual reality lucid dreams, but they were still, totally virtual reality. These very sexual, like very, very sexual, and he gives me stuff like that all the time. Like, very, very sexual stuff. But he didn't do all that, under the abduction. But sometimes he does get kind of raunchy under my abductions. And then a lot of times he'll just get real raunchy when I'm, and when I'm having all, when he gives me the lucid dreams, virtual reality lucid dreams or whatever. But, yeah, and I know it was him that gave me all that. But yeah, like I say, he hasn't, but it's been a while, you know what I mean? Since he's really been giving me a lot of, like, sexual virtual reality lucid dreams, or, it's been a while since he's turned me into a hermaphrodite. But yeah, he did some things in that, the Saturday morning. But it wasn't like an out-of-body experience, so to speak. I mean, I was still out of body, but just under the more dream state. The virtual reality dream state. Okay, so anyway, that was my funny abduction. My funny abduction about the reptilian alien named Joel, who gave me sensual romance. But yeah, this was hilarious. It's hilarious because they always switch it up. They never give me the exact same experience, which is cool. But yeah, that one experience where he was standing at the foot of my bed and he pulled me out of body. Then he throws me, I guess you could say, in his dimension, so to speak, and I'm standing there. And like I say, part of it would be virtual reality, I guess, because like he put my cat, and I don't know, he was just like throwing my cat at me. It was like funny, but it didn't hurt, but he was like throwing him at me. And it was like pegging my legs and pegging my head and everything else. So it's kind of like that part, was probably like virtual reality, so to speak. And not necessarily, it wasn't necessarily really like my cat that was out of body and everything, if you know what I mean. But I talk about that experience in another experience. And that time, I was sleeping in my back bedroom and I was sleeping on my stomach. But anyway, so this experience that happened on Friday morning, he didn't necessarily like come to my bedroom. If you know what I mean. Like he could have just, I don't know. But then he stuck me in my back bedroom. So who knows? I don't know if that was really virtual reality or if that was really like real, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so anyway, it was still an out-of-body experience. But the question is, did he really take my astral body and place it in my back bedroom and place me on my stomach? And at that point, was he really there in my bedroom? But anyway, that part I still think was virtual reality, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I know it's kind of weird, but I mean, I was still able to move and everything. My astral body was still, I was still out of body. I was still, you know, able to move my head, move my arms and all that stuff. I just wasn't able to like run from him or get out of bed, if you know what I'm saying. But I kept thinking, you know, how am I going to get out of the situation? Because I didn't feel real safe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it was kind of hilarious because he doesn't talk very much under my experiences, but he has talked many times. And a couple other experiences that I talked about. I'll find them and put them in the comments or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of cool. He was like, kissed me all up and down my back, and it was just totally hilarious. And, you know, I felt like, I don't know, I mean, it feels like so real, you know what I mean? It just feels totally real. And it seemed like he was so, like, sincere, you know what I'm saying? But I know he probably, like, wasn't. But, you know, they're just funny. These beings are hilarious. And they can mock anybody, they can mock anything to a T. It's just hilarious. Okay, well, thanks for listening.